At social media trends this week. With me in studio, Lebo Tshangela from our digital news team. Lebo, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Natasha.
All right, so the big story today, we've been covering those marches in Pretoria. What are people saying on social media? It seems to be getting out of hand.
Basically, we know that organizers, the whole purpose of the march was to create awareness about crimes that are committed by illegal foreign nationals, drugs and prostitution. But it seems to have had xenophobic undertones. Well, one person on Twitter, A. Abedan, is saying, well, all African cards simply won't work. South Africa simply can't handle the influx of foreigners that are coming in. But however, the people in Atteridgeville are actually worried about the lack of police visibilities. They're fearing for their lives. At Mr. Bentley SA says no heavy police presence in Atteridgeville during a violent protest, but they sent a riot police for peaceful protests in universities. And they're also saying that at Corner Khoza and Maud Street, there's police visibility, but at Atteridgeville there's none.
Well, that's interesting because we've seen that the scenes from Marabastad where there's been heavy police presence.
Yes, no, definitely, and it's just degenerated, and people are saying that, you know what, I'll never consider people as my brothers. If they smuggle drugs via border and claim they're also trying to make a living, we see that, you know what, some people are taking this whole this whole xenophobic stance.
And it's interesting because this is public sentiment on Twitter, so we actually need to be able to look at figures and actual stats because these are things that people are saying against immigrants in the country. So it's quite hard to judge from people's responses on Twitter versus the actual facts of stats coming out of the Home Affairs Department, for example.
Yes, Natasha, but what I can tell you is that people are just worried about that their safety on Twitter and on social media, more than obviously what Home Affairs is actually saying. But people are just worried about their safety. They want the soldier to come in. They're saying if government can send, Parliament can send the soldiers to Parliament, then they should also send some to Atteridgeville.
All right. Another big story this week, of course, was the budget. What have people been saying? What's their response been to this, and especially towards that 45% tax deduction for people of high income?
Well, we conducted a Twitter poll asking people about this decision. 47% are saying the rich must pay, 22% are saying it's not fair at all, 20% says it won't change the economy much, and 11% are saying I don't understand it. And also at Phil Reneka says no transfer duty on properties 900,000 and below. And at Mohammed Nala says growth expectations are more realistic, so subject to less revision. So people are saying that, especially at Oli, saying politicians are going to accumulate so much money that they're going to have to amass a lot of, money from state coffers, and when this whole 45% tax rate kicks in.
Other than that, sort of a general response, were people quite positive to the minister's budget?
Well, people, especially where syntax, is involved, are saying that no, they're going to kill us, on the cigarettes and on all the alcohol. But some people actually do welcome the minister's 45% on people that are earning up to 1.5 million.
All right, and you've also got here a hashtag Ask the Public Protector. That was trending this week. Just tell us a bit more about that.
Basically, the Public Protector's Q&A campaign did not go as planned because people turned very funny, where people were asking things like, why do white people call Musi my money, kind of thing. At Kobeti says, could you also just investigate the 783 plus charges of number one? And at Taylor Nirvana says, why do you seem like you're employed by the president and to represent him and not the public? So we see that, it degenerated when some people being a little bit mean to her, and it turned out to be a bit funny.
All right, and finally, this week also Orlando Pirates unveiling their new coach. A lot of people on Twitter saying they can't even pronounce his name.
Yes, we know that Orlando Pirates been without a coach for some time, and now they've got a permanent coach. But all people could go on Twitter, especially at the Real Boys. I said, I guess since we can't pronounce his name, we'll just have to nickname him soon. At Enchal Lane says, Batong. Pirates fans complain that they cannot pronounce the name of their new coach. So the new name is sort of what's being
the focus of the story, other than anything else.
Yes.
All right, Lebo, thank you so much. Lebo Tshangela from our digital news team with us, going through some of the trends for this week. Stay with us. I'll have some international news coming up next.